Hey everybody, this is Robert People, and you're listening to People's Court. Thanks for tuning in. It is Monday, July 8th, 2019. Hope everyone has had a great day so far. So, you're on social media, right? And you see the 1,000th picture of some happy couple sharing a bowl of this, or eating this together, or skipping along in the park, holding hands on the beach, in a restaurant, out dancing, smiling, cheesing it all up for the camera and everything. And that just gets on your last nerve, doesn't it? Don't you just hate that? Don't you hate seeing these couples doing all this and that and pretending they're so happy just to put on this show, and they know you're watching, so they just got to make it look so sickening, make you want to just gag yourself, right? Bothers you, doesn't it? Well, I'm here to ask right now, simple question. Why does it bother you? We see all the time, or I should say, people talk a lot about, especially on social media, about those faking. And everybody's a fake, and nobody's real, all this and that. Everybody's real, but nobody's real at the same time. But a lot of people love to say that couples get on social media and they're faking how happy they are because they're really not happy and all this and that. Now, my question to you is, what proof do you have that they're not happy? What proof do you have that the picture you're seeing is not genuine? Oh, because you know one person here, two people there who were perpetrating. Okay. Yeah, everybody perpetrates, I think, to a degree, right? But because you see that means everybody's faking. That means everybody you see is doing that. Not to mention, why is this the mindset when we're talking about relationships? It seems like that's one of the only times people want to question how genuine it is. For example, if I get on social media and I post, let's say a plate of food, people don't tend to think that means I'm starving, or I don't have food in my house, or I'm not able to eat, right? Nobody really says that. Let's say I take a picture and post a picture of something in my house. People don't tend to say, oh, but he's really homeless, though. Post a picture of my car, people don't say, well, he's taking the bus all over the place. So for some reason, relationships seem to be the only thing that people feel as though they won in some kind of way by declaring that people are faking. No evidence, no kind of proof whatsoever, but they do that. And why is it just for relationships? And I've heard people many times. My ex-wife once even said this, that she doesn't want to, or they don't want to post their relationships because they don't want people to feel bad. They don't want to make people feel bad. Now, for one thing, how can expressing how happy you are make somebody else? How is that a bad thing? And why should you be responsible for somebody else not being happy about that? So you're supposed to never show anything because it might bother somebody else? Not that you're doing anything wrong or particularly and specifically attacking them. You're just going about your business, right? Why are people so caught up in others' relationships? And on top of that, the same ones who love to proclaim that folks are faking. Number one, I know quite a few, and it takes almost everything in me sometimes not to really call people out on this, because I see people run their mouths about it, and I honestly, I know them personally, and they're the last ones who can afford to talk, really. But what's interesting is that the same individuals who love to say, don't worry about other people's relationships because they're faking and all this and that. These are the same ones who, let's say I decided to post something, my wife got on my nerves or did something, and I decided to jump on social media and talk about that. Well, those people wouldn't tell me, hey, that probably didn't happen. And I'm talking about not the not the extreme feminist man haters. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just straight up. You're not going to say that didn't happen. You're not going to claim that, certain types of drama didn't happen. No. That's when you grab the popcorn and you want to see just how much is going to be revealed, how far it's going to go. Because if people can fake the show good, they can fake the show bad too, right? But you don't call out bad. You only call out good. See, with good, there's no drama involved, right? That drama that you're sitting on social media and you spend hours and hours on social media every day looking for, well, if there's positives, there's no drama there. That's no fun. That's boring. And if you're a single person, oh yeah, it's even worse. Because, oh, by the way, people who are in relationships don't usually talk about that. They don't usually say how fake someone is. Mainly just a passive-aggressive way to put somebody down, to put down other people because of what your insecurities are. But that's what happens. We live in this society, we live in this world where there's so much jealousy out there, it's crazy. There's so much jealousy, so much envy. And people don't stop and sit and realize everybody's life is not meant to be your life. Got a great message in church yesterday. And if you're not somebody who goes to church, you don't have to dismiss this whole thing just because you don't go to church. It's a good message whether you go to church or not. So just take a second and hear what I got to say. You are not meant to wear everybody else's armor. You were put here for a reason. And your reason is not everybody else's reasons. If you are not in a relationship, there's a reason you aren't. And you don't have to open your mouth and say one thing about those couples who are obviously in relationships. You don't have to say anything about them. You don't have to take your little jabs and your little side this and that and get on social media and be trying to call them out, but don't really call them out because you just want to say enough but hope that they get it, but don't say anything because then if they say something you can be like, oh, I'm not talking about you when you know you really are and all that other good stuff, right? See, we love that. And the sad thing is, it doesn't do you any good to do that. Maybe that couple was meant to be in a relationship and maybe you weren't. What does that say about you when someone talks about being happy and the first place your mind goes is how they're faking it in some way? And let's be frank about this too. You are not as important as you think to certain people. I am not as important as I think to certain people. So when you jump on social media, and and I've always said this, if you're on social media so long that you think everybody who gets on and does something, they're doing it somehow with you in mind, you got to get off a little bit. You got to get off. You got to log off. You got to go find a hobby. You got to go do something else. Because guess what? Everybody's not trying to show off for you. And people don't have to prove anything to you. If I decide to get on social media and post how happy I am with my wife, guess what? I'm not talking to any judges. I'm not sitting on trial. So I don't have to prove or be put in any kind of position that I have to prove that what I'm posting is genuine. To be completely honest, my current wife posts pictures of us a lot more than my former wife did. So is that's just a little different, and it's a preference thing. It don't have to be, this isn't me trying to call my ex-wife out or anything like that. It's not. Some people do, some don't. It's not. This isn't to say that everybody needs to do it or nobody should do it at all. It's just some like to do it, some don't. There's nothing wrong with that. Either way, it's your own preference. But nobody should feel like they can't express being happy, or else you're going to think they're faking. And if you're one of those people who thinks you're so brilliant and, man, you didn't crack the code and I'm saying something that really means something, all because you just don't like the fact that somebody's talking about being happy, if that's you, you got to ask yourself, why you feel like that? Why do you feel... And no matter how true it even is, why do you feel like it's a victory? Why do you feel like I really said something by saying this? This day and age, just like we can't go anywhere without somebody wanting to somebody not wanting to see us happy. I'm not talking about your enemies. The enemies, they can go, well, you know where they can go. But they let you know up front that they're not about, your happiness. So that's all good. Or no, let me not say it's all good. It is what it is. But friends, family, those are the ones. Those are the main ones who will sit there and talk about you like, yeah, you are putting on a show. Why? Because I put a picture of my wife and I, and we're smiling with each other and talking about how happy we are. And another thing people fail to understand, too, is that happiness is not always about perfect. Happiness is not about perfection. People love to equate happy with perfect. Oh, they act like their marriage is so perfect. Who is acting like anything? So because I crack a smile, that means my marriage is, oh, man, nobody can touch it, right? It is perfect because I'm in a picture and I'm smiling. Now, come on. Why is that on your mind that much? But why does that have to mean perfect? I don't think anybody with any good sense believes their relationships are perfect. So this whole thing, what is this? All this, they're pretending it's perfect and acting like it's perfect. What is acting like something perfect? What is acting? How do you act like your relationship is perfect? How do you do that? A smile? Damn, everybody smiles. Life ain't perfect because you smile once or twice. I mean, somebody holds a camera up, first thing they say is say cheese, right? So the minute I say cheese, my life perfect now, right? So, I mean, why is that being perfect? Oh, we posted a picture today and we posted a picture last week and a couple times before. Okay, what does that mean? How does that mean perfect? With everything going on, and I close with this, but with everything going on, all the horrible things going on in our world, damn if it's such a horrible thing for somebody to post about being happy with other people coming along, other miserable people coming along to sit there and say, nah, you really ain't happy like that. You're perpetrating, you're putting on a show. Come on, people. It's enough bad stuff going on everywhere else. Why do you have to add to it? No need. There's absolutely no need to put all that extra on it, because for what? You don't have proof, no evidence. And really, that's where I go with it. When someone wants to try to second guess and quit all this and say this and that, I say, look, I'm not going to waste time trying to convince. You give me the proof. You're the one who made the allegation of whatever kind. You provide the proof, not me. You don't go to court and the judge talks to the defendant first. No, the judge talks to the plaintiff. The plaintiff, the one who put the initial case in, that's who the judge speaks to first, because that person has to plead their case. Now, if it's legitimate enough, the judge moves on to the defendant and says, okay, this person gave me enough to go with, so now you have to defend it. Hence the term defendant. So for my happy folks out there, keep on being happy, keep on showing it. Shout it from the rooftops if you need to. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you feel like being happy, damn it, be happy, because there's too much bad stuff going on and life is too short to not be happy. And if you're one of those who can't stand to see your friends be happy, take a look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why. Ask yourself why you are in such a bad place that people you claim to love and care about are also folks whose happiness you question, not because you know them, but because you simply don't want to see it. Ask yourself what is wrong. Don't ask them. Ask you. Again, this is Robert People. This is People's Court. And thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of the evening.